Daryl Evans with the Los Angeles Kings with the Vice President of Hockey Operations, Mike Futa. Mike, draft today, so far a couple of picks for the Kings in the early rounds. What are your thoughts? And tell us a little bit about the players the Kings selected.
Well, Marky and Eddie and the group really excited with Cale Clegg. We were bothering Hexy there about getting a Brandon Wheat King. Incredible offensive upside. The guy's, he's a great skater, huge, offensive upside, great attitude. Was a big part. Kelly McCrimmon, huge fan of his. And again, that's a tough league to play in. And he was a dominant player. I mean, he played a ton of minutes for a draft-eligible player. His team obviously won the Western Hockey League, went on to the Memorial Cup. So we're looking for big things from him. That was one of the, we had talked about beforehand. Any kind of ties or any close battles, we were going to move on and take a defenseman and really try and restock the shelves in the back end. And he certainly fit the bill.
And when you look at the Kings again, moving forward, trying to stock the shelves a little bit, not nearly as many picks as you guys have had in the past. How does that differ for the way you guys as a staff approach coming into a draft like this?
Obviously there are a couple of years when we had a ton of picks, and it more affects your ability to move up and down. It's part of the, it's part of the game. We talked today at the, we're certainly not going to put ourselves in this situation. It's not something, Dean, we've talked about. It's been a long time since we've been up on that stage picking a first-round pick, and it's something that, we've had some success, but it's obviously tougher. We have 4 picks, but we've had some thoughts about moving up and down and stuff, and we feel that we've done a good job with it. But as the guys, this kid was again much higher on the list than where he was. So if our guys, and they notoriously do their job exceptionally well, that it's going to be a guy that we're going to be really happy with. But obviously, like to have more picks.
When you go back the last couple of years in the draft, the players the Kings have selected, how are you guys feeling about the development and where they're at, and when their next step comes to moving into the National Hockey League?
Well, we've beat it up, but we beat it up for a good reason. We've got the best development staff in the National Hockey League, and I think the ability to take kids that we draft and identify areas that the guys can get to and teach and improve upon, is second to none. And I think it continues with these guys as some of the holes in their games that our guys will be able to get to, and they don't leave a stone unturned. And I think Dean's always been huge on the development path, and you obviously see it down there with all the different segments and sessions set up with Mike Donnelly and the whole group there, from shooting tanks to skating tanks to defensive tanks. These guys are. It's an incredible group. So we feel good about it. I think the proof's in the pudding when you see, as much as we were disappointed with our finish with the big club, to win a Calder Cup last year with your group. And then again, the job that Mike Stuthers and Chris did again this year to take them to a Final Four with all the graduation that they had, it speaks volumes for what's coming. And I think this part of what we've talked about is this team coming up this year. You're going to see a lot of that, those young guys rewarded for doing things the right way, putting in the time, and becoming Kings.